Hey, I'm Cyclon. I'm bringing you not only a day 2 to day 4 update, but also huge discoveries that happened yesterday. So, a lot has changed with my build. On day 2, I managed to get my first big upgrades in, managed to get a Death Rush, an Inspired Learning, and a Fractured Bow Base. Early day 3, I then managed to 6-link the bow, so that was also a huge accomplishment. And then on early day 4, I have gotten huge build upgrades. I basically revamped the build completely, but we get to that in a moment. Day 2, as planned, I was farming my Mausoleum, I was farming my Seeing Exarch altars, and it made me a decent amount of currency. Day 3, I finally moved on to Legion. The whole day I was running Legion, and at the end of the day I was huge liquefying round, which netted me about 44 or 45 divines. On top of already upgrades that I've made during the day, that definitely was a huge accomplishment. Legion just dropped so many raw divines, so many lucky uniques, so many fracturing bases that were worth something. It has truly been a currency shower that day. Now moving on to day 4, I've gotten big upgrades for my character. My character has moved on from Lightning Arrow to Tornado Shot and from non-omniscience to omniscience. And I have to say, it is absolutely a blast. I am currently sitting at 11 projectiles. The screen just insta pops, it's so hilarious. So, for those that want to follow along with the upgrade order, after I've improved the mapping speed with Death Rush, Inspired Learning and a good high damage bow, I then went on and did a swap to Tornado Shot. So I had the Tornado Shot helmet, Tornado Shot, normal greater multiple projectiles, and a chain. That alone was already enough to make the map. Of course, I respec out of the Pierce nodes, so I had just chain support. Then, when I had more currency, I got a fractured boots base and a fractured body armor base. I crafted those and realized my resistances are absolutely garbage now. I need to transition into Omni. So I forced the Omni update, utilizing a bolt that I've gotten dropped and a brutal restraint that I was able to snipe to be able to equip Omni on my build. Now that I had an Omni build, I also was able to reroll my helm slightly just for high life and mana reservation, and the build was working again. I then restructured my tree slightly, getting the large cluster and the 2 medium clusters, and that was the build upgrade. After I've gotten the Omni swap in, after I was able to run maps again, I moved from focal point to the Ricochet node and got an Awakened Fork, having now 2 forks and 1 chain on each of my projectile. So with my, let's say with my 11 base projectiles that I have now, which is a crazy amount, that each split into 4. Those 4 arrows then fork twice, so they go from 44 projectiles to 88 projectiles to 176 projectiles that then chain once. Legion with this is hilarious. Delirium with this is hilarious. There are just so many projectiles on the screen. I don't know why, but at the moment Awakened Fork and Awakened Chain are on the same price. I was debating which to go with, but Fork I just had. It's just hilarious in projectile math. Now Chain is auto-targeting, while Fork is only slightly targeting, but it's still very powerful. I then was able to grab an Awakened GMP, and finally was able to get old quality on my Tornado Shot, Inspiration and other Inspiration, as well as getting old quality on my Mark 1 hit. Now, that was overall the upgrades that I made to the build, and this, I guess I also crafted my flask. And this is what I've been running yesterday with, and which I'm going to be running today with. I think I'm getting down all the small upgrades. I don't have Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flesh jewels. Those of course would be a big upgrade, being able to get either Focal Point back in, or because I'm having 6 Frenzy Charges, getting the movement speed and attack speed node from the radar in. Either one is going to be interesting, but overall this is the current state of the build. Now finally moving on to the huge discoveries. After I farmed Legion day 3, day 4, after I did the upgrades, I was thinking of, instead of going for DD orbs, which in the end I did end up going for, but why we get to in a moment, I was trying to do other strategies, figuring out something new, something innovative that utilizes the new Fortunate and the new Beyond to gain a massive amount of divines per hour. It didn't work out that well. Well, I'm going to show you a bit of Legion Dunes footage with Tornado Shot so you can enjoy the view, while I'm going to talk about what strategies not to run. So the first strategy that I tried out to run was Harbinger, Breach, Beyond, Dunes. I was using Gilded Divination Scarab and Polished Divination Scarab, and I was running 10 test maps each. Now you could argue that's a smaller sample size, but I did some big discoveries in those maps. In my 10 Gilded runs, I have gotten 7 the Fortunate cards, which is okay, but with my Legion runs, I think that had no Divination Scarab, I have gotten 5 or 6 in 10 maps. So, despite using Gilded Divination Scarab, I was not really getting more the Fortunate Div cards, which was really odd. And most of the Fortunates that did drop either dropped from Beyond or dropped from random mobs. I've gotten one the Fortunate from the Breach Clasping Hand, but I've gotten not a single Fortunate from any Breach monster. And the Harbinger into Beyond also didn't seem to have dropped any. Now, those could have just been unlucky because Beyond was able to spawn them. It felt weird that despite what I did, I wasn't actually getting more the Fortunates. Now, when I swapped to Polished Divination Scarabs, I've only gotten 2. So there is definitely, they are affected by the Gilded Divination Scarab, but it just seems that Legion is the way to go for the Fortunate card. With Legion you just keep getting it from, I think, what is the deterministic reward, so the divination card reward that could also grant any other divination card seems to really favor the Fortunate in terms of dropping it when you're running Legion. Now I will further figure that out today on day 4, on day 5. Is it day 5? Yeah, on day 5, and tomorrow on day 6. And I will give you an update at the end of Friday, beginning of Saturday, how my further progression of the league went. But that is the current state of me trying to figure out how we can target farm the Fortunate Divcard without forcing Magic Find and Strong boxes. Then, when I thought I was really smart, what I tried to do was, okay, I'm going to take the Tropical Island map, I'm going to use the classical Abyss and Breach, and I'm going to try to run DD Orbs on Tropical Island, and I'm going to combine that again with the Divination Scarab, again with Beyond, again with Harbinger, and see if I can force a lot of Fortunate drops there. Because Abyss just gives a sheer amount of enemies, despite getting with 60% daily to 14 reward layers, 15 with the boss. I again only got in 4 maps 1 Fortunate. And again, it felt worse than Legion, despite me trying to somewhat target farm it. So again, I had the feeling that Legion just seems superior. So I finally ended up back on Breach, Abyss, Beyond, daily strands. So I did my daily strand strategy, I just added a bit of Beyond to it. The map sustain, despite using polished cartographer scarabs, was really bad, but the loot, the amount of scarabs I've gotten was ridiculous. Definitely a really good high investment strategy. The only issue is that despite all that I invested into the build, despite me doing a lot of projectors and a lot of damage, it still takes quite a bit of time to run, and it is feeling, again, not as good as Legion. So again, because of all of that, I'm moving back to Legion, and I'm going to have my fun on Dunes. Now this includes my update and includes my discoveries of the previous days. Hopefully it was interesting, and if you did enjoy it, maybe you're going to also be interested in this video and that corner. I keep forgetting that the camera is mirrored. Anyway, Have a wonderful day, and if I've forgotten anything, or if you are curious about anything, if you have any questions, feel free to message me on Discord, over DMs, or you can also ask in the comment section, or you can ask me on my Discord server, or you can message me in-game when I'm live. Current name is Cyclon Trialmaster. I will leave a link to the PoE Ninja profile in the description. All that being said, have a wonderful day and goodbye.